We will see this game between Josef Noah versus Isidor Gunsberg, and it was played in Frankfurt, Germany in 1887. Okay, in 1887, this game was played. So let's start. Okay, white starts with e4, black plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Roy Lopez or Spanish opening, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, normal line, main line you can say, d3, d6, h3, stopping bishop g4, pin g6. Now this is little different. Okay, normally they don't play this, and this is wrong because see, I will tell you what is the reason. Normally, see, if you have played this pawn, then this is already slightly weaker, this square, because this cannot now, control this. In that case, if you play this one as well, then it is very weak. So either you play g6, bg7, and keep the pawn on e7 for a longer time, or if you have already played e6 or e5, then don't play g6. Play bishop e7, because see, why do you want to play g6 or e6 or e5? To develop the bishop. That is the main idea. So you can develop your bishop on this side. You should do that, and you shouldn't play g6. Okay, here the best move you could play b5 or bishop e7, or if you can even play h6 to stop bishop g5. But here he played g6, not a very good idea. Now here white is happy. He thought, yeah, this is the weakness. He said, yeah, let's attack. The knight is pinned now. Okay, it's not good for black. Bishop g5. Now he gives support. Bishop g7. Okay, whenever you play g6, normally it's a good idea. You have to play bishop g7. Otherwise, the f6 and h6, these are very weak squares. So knight b d2 now, development h6. You have to kick that bishop. Okay, don't allow that pin for a long, long time. Don't allow that. You have to do something. You have to ask question to that piece. Okay, you're coming closer to me. You're giving attack on my knight. You're pinning my knight. I can't do anything because of you. Okay, either you exchange the knight or you go back, but don't stay here. That's what you have to tell that bishop. If you don't do, if you keep it there, he is there waiting for right opportunity, right time, and then you will be in trouble for sure. So always remember that's a dangerous piece of the opponent coming very closer to you. Attack on it, kick the bishop. So bishop cross f6. Actually, bishop h4 was better, but anyway, then yeah, bishop cross f6 is okay, but queen cross f6 is better here because bishop is already developed. You have to develop more pieces, and that's why. And here the knight is not on c3. That is another reason why you should play queen and not bishop, because knight d5 is not coming, knight e4 is not coming, so you don't need to worry for the queen, and that's why you can play queen cross f6. Now queen e2, bishop d7. Okay, you have to keep developing your pieces. He's thinking maybe to do long castle. That's why he played this. But yeah, he can do short castle as well. Bishop d7. Okay, removing the pin again, developing the piece. And here he played c3. So yeah, he has not made plan to do long castle. But let's see what is. Of course, white would like to play d4. That is the main idea. Second idea is to control these two squares so that this knight cannot come here. Okay, otherwise anytime this knight would like to come on d4 and attack on the queen. Yeah, there is this knight already. But yeah, if the knight moves somewhere else, there can be a problem. Okay, so after c3, black has made castle. Okay, so yes, he had to do castle at some point of time. Both were just waiting and watching what the opponent is doing, and they were thinking, should I do short castle or long castle? And finally, black has decided. I think after seeing c3, he said, now this side the attack can come faster, and that's why he has decided to do short castle. So you can think like this, okay? If the opponent has more pawns ahead on this side or more pieces ahead on this side, then you can understand, yeah, the attack can be faster on this side. And if I do long castle, I can be in trouble. Already I have played e6. So it can reach faster. The attack can. If I do short castle, though these pawns are little ahead, I have my bishop here intact. Plus, if we would do long castle, then I can do attack faster on this side. So my attack will reach faster than the opponent's attack. That we have to think. And then by understanding all this, then you can decide, yeah, short castle is better than long castle. So there should be a logic. Should always decide, okay, you compare short castle or long castle, which side my pawns are ahead, which side the opponent pawns are ahead, where can I attack faster, where can the opponent attack faster, which side is safer or riskier. Like this you have to think, and finally you can decide. So these are the things which you have to understand, or which you have to analyze or evaluate properly, and then decide which is better, which side is better. So doing castling is not so easy, by the way. Some students, know, beginners, they just do mechanically, they just do castle on the fourth or fifth move. But it's not like that. Okay, you can wait and watch. You can see how the opponent is playing, and then you can decide properly. So, okay, after here knight f1, then here he has played knight d4. Very interesting move. See, whenever you have this kind of, hanging pieces. Now, this bishop has no support. And when he made castle, that time there is one more thing he did, that now the bishop cannot capture and give check. Okay, before when the king was here, he could just capture and he could save his piece because it was a check. Opponent cannot capture this one. But now there is no threat like that, and that's why this is the time when he can play this knight d4. He couldn't do it before because that time he could capture and then capture this knight like this. So here knight d4, two threats. One is attacking on this, second is attacking on this. So white has to do something. Either he has to capture with this or move the queen here and give support. So let's see what did he do. He has captured this one. Okay. So knight cross d4, bishop cross a4. Okay, you cannot capture this because if you take e cross d4, then bishop cross d7 was a threat. He would have got free points, extra points. So after bishop cross a4, knight f3, he had to save this knight. He played this knight f3. Now the bishop was doing nothing in the side, so he said, okay, let's go back. Bishop d7. Knight e3. Okay, you have to get the pieces ahead. Now the question was knight g3 or e3. Where can you move the knight on more squares? And he thought this side is better. He has more options on this side than the other side, and that's why he has not moved the knight on this side. Instead, he played on this side. So whenever you have options, you should choose carefully. Okay. If you don't have options, then it's okay. You can directly play knight g3. But when you have options, you have to be careful. You have to think. Take your time and then play. So now c6, because there was a threat now, knight d5 was coming and attacking on this, making attack on this pawn. So he had to go back. So if you don't want that, then you do this one, c6. After this c6, white now starts g4. So white has a plan. White says, okay, I have not done castle yet. I can decide. I can either do long castle and attack on this side, or in case I can even keep the king over here only. I don't have to do castle. Because if the center is closed, if the attack is not coming on this king, then it's not compulsory for me to do castle. Right? It's not compulsory that each and every game that you have to do castle. Is it written somewhere? No. So you can wait and watch. So he said, okay, I'll start attacking on this side. Let's see what happens. He played g4. Now the threat is g5. So he's going to play this. And then you have to capture this with this. Because when there are two attacks, you cannot say no. Either you have to move back or you have to capture with the pawn. So that's why he said, okay, I will move here. So in case if he comes ahead, then I have an option of moving ahead and block this side. Because if the queen is here, then you can't play h5. You have to do something there. You have to take decision. So these kind of moves you have to understand. Why did he play this? The reason is very simple. If you have the queen here and then that time if he plays here, you have to capture. You have to open this side. But if the queen is this side now, it's not here. And if he plays g5, then you have a choice to play h5, and you can close that side, king side, and then the opponent can't attack that much because your king is on that side. So you have to try to close that side. You should not open that side. Okay. After queen e7, it's white's turn. White said, okay, let me prepare. So rook g1, bishop e6. You have to get the pieces on better and better squares. He has moved the bishop on a better square where he can control more squares. Now, how is it better than before? Very simple thing. You have to just count like this. See how many squares, legal moves now you have to count. The bishop can go on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 moves. But now, if you play the bishop here, let's count now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 moves versus 8 moves. Have you improved the position of the bishop? The answer is yes. So this is how you have to understand. See how to increase the power of your pieces, how to use the full potential or more potential of your pieces. You move the pieces on the squares where they can attack more. Okay, so always try to do that. Move your pieces on better and better squares like this. You have this kind of thing where you can understand, is this a better square than before or not? Okay, so after bishop e6, rook g3. Rook g3, the idea is he has given support, number one, so that if g5 comes, he doesn't have to worry about this pawn. Number two, maybe after castle or after moving the king somewhere, this rook can come directly and make double rook. That is also one more reason maybe. Yeah, there is no other reason I can see. Anyway, let's see. D5. D5, now see, you have to take the decision, okay? You should understand where is the opponent's king. Okay, now opponent is telling you either I will do long castle or I will keep it here. Now you cannot wait for him to do long castle and that time then you will start attacking on this side. No, you have to force him to do long castle so that you will be sure where do you have to play, where do you have to attack. Otherwise you cannot attack, opponent will attack alone. Okay, now how to force him? You have to attack in the center. Wherever is the king, you have to attack there. To open that center and then you can attack on the king. So the king has to do something. Either he has to run this side or this side. He cannot stay there. So after d5, white says, yes, I will continue the attack. g5. And as I said, now black has the choice and he plays that. h5. He is not opening. See, it's like, opening the gate. Okay, now the enemy wants to come inside and attack on your king. It's up to you whether to open the gate and allow the enemy to come inside or close the gate and say, okay, no, you are not welcome inside. You stay there only or you go on the other side, but don't come on this side where my king is there. Okay, and that's what you are supposed to do. When the opponent is coming inside, you close that gate. You have to close the position on that side where you have the king, and if the opponent doesn't have the king there. So understand, this is very, very important thing. So many times we have seen the beginner, they don't understand and they, without thinking, they just exchange. And then suddenly the attack comes and then they don't understand what happened. How does this attack come so fast? So that should not happen. You should understand the strategy, the basics. The basics are very important, and that's why h5 move is very, very important here. Okay, after that knight h4, now he's focusing on this side. Plus he's moving the knight so that this pawn can come ahead. And okay, he can do this. That is also one more thing. So let's see. After knight h4, queen d7. So he has spotted the weakness and he's saying, okay, I'm going to take that pawn. Now you will say, why is he taking the pawn on this side where it can be attacked? Now see, slowly, steadily, there are less pieces on the board. When there are less pieces on the board, then you don't have to worry so much about that attack. But attack cannot be that powerful. So if the attack is not that powerful, you can then take the risk of taking those pawns, extra things. So yeah, there is a threat of bishop cross h3. Now how to save that pawn? He said, no, I will save it. I will not give that pawn. Because each and every point is very important. At the end, opponent can just like simplify the position and he can claim that, yeah, I have extra point. and on that basis he can just win the game afterwards. How? You know the technique, right? Once you have extra point, you just exchange all the pieces, and easily at the end game, in the end game, you can either with that extra pawn you can make the queen, or if you have extra piece, you capture all the pawns with that extra piece and king. Opponent cannot save, and then you can make queen of your pawn. So that is the technique. Okay, after queen f3, rook a d8. He's getting his pieces on the right places because this is the side where you would like to attack. This is the side center. You have to attack from the center because opponent has the king in the center. So now he has also got his rook here, rook d1. He's saying, okay, if you exchange the pawn, I will exchange, and I would like to exchange the pieces because I don't want this king to be attacked from this side. And this rook was doing nothing anyway. So he has to get that rook into the game. So rook d1, he has not made castle, because if you do castle here, then what happens? If you do long castle, actually it is looking okay, but not that okay. Okay, rook d1 is better because here the king can be alone. Okay, afterwards he can do some damage on that side. Okay, some pieces can suddenly come and there can be a problem. Okay, see, suddenly all these pieces can come on this side, and it's little difficult for you to get your pieces to defend that king. So it is little risky, and that's why I thought let the king be here where the pawns are blocked to each other. Okay, so the king normally is safe where the pawns are blocked. They cannot be captured or exchanged easily. Then the king should be here, and if you want, you can shift it any side, any time. So that's why he said, okay, let it be here. And he played rook d1. After that, king h7, he gave extra support to this. So you don't have to worry about sacrifice over here. King h7 and then knight h, f5. Look at this. The pawn is here. So he's giving a sacrifice here. What is the plan? He's thinking, if you take it, I'll take it and I'll get the bishop because the bishop is trapped. Okay, see this. Right, the bishop is trapped. So he's getting his piece back, plus he will open on this side. So that's good. And that's why, is it a good idea for black to take it? The answer is no. Though it's looking like extra point right now, no. So he played this here, okay, bishop h8, because white would like to capture the bishop for a knight. And he said, no, I would keep it. Though it's looking like very bad, bishop in the corner, which is blocked by this, but still he said, I will keep it as these are very weak squares. My bishop should be there on the board to control those squares. Rook g4. Now look at this. Such a great sacrifice. He's saying, okay, take my rook now. Now, if the beginners, they would like to take these kind of free things, and then they could be in big trouble. So here he has given a free piece here. Okay, rook. Can you take it? The answer is little risky, but you should know exactly how to defend. Okay, you can take it. I'm not saying it is untouchable, but better you do something else. But here, yes, he has taken. Okay, actually d4 is better than that, but we don't know. Let's see. So h cross g4, and then h cross g4. This has happened in the game. He played h cross g4, and then he wants to open the file to attack so that even this rook can come out afterwards. The queen can come from this side, but if you keep the rook, the pawn here, then rook cannot join the attack. That's the main idea. Okay, so f6. Now he said, okay, I need some space for my king to run away. Otherwise, the king will stuck. He will be stuck over here, and it can be dangerous. So he played f6 to make space for this. Plus, these pieces can also join the defense. Okay, this queen can come, or bishop can come on this side, like that. Anyway, let's see. King e2. Idea, the rook is coming on this side. He has given sacrifice to do that only. F cross is g5. So he's making space, but it's little risky. Yeah, here queen h3 check. Now white is getting all the pieces. It's not so easy. King g8. Rook h1. So see, if your sacrifice is not sound enough, you can be in trouble. He has taken the sacrifice. And now white is finding is little difficult to do checkmate. If you can't do checkmate, you are given lot of things for sacrifice. So extra rook is not a joke. Anyway, now king f7. He wants to run away because otherwise there can be queen cross h8. So he saved it. Now you can't take it. Rook is giving support. Now what to do? Queen h7 check. King f6. Okay, it's looking like very risky to stay. But the thing is, right now at least the knight can't do anything, and these two pieces cannot attack. So somehow he managed to hold on, save the king. Now you cannot exchange the pieces. If you exchange the queens, then the attack is not there. The position will be simplified, and then you will lose the game for sure because the person who has more points can win easily in simple position. So you have to keep the pieces on the board to make it complicated or unclear an attack on the king. So here he played a queen h3, went back, and then d cross e4. Now he is opening this side because his opponent's king is in the center. He's opening that d cross e4, and suddenly now black has started the attack. So he has extra points. Plus now he is attacking. It's very difficult now for white. King f3, bishop c4. He could exchange, but then no use because then knight or pawn can take and there can be a problem. So he said, no, let it be like this. The knights are doing nothing. Let it be. Now he has a plan. What is the plan? Queen e2 is a plan. So bishop here, bishop c4, queen h6, trying to do something. It's very difficult. He has less pieces to do anything on this side. Queen e2 check as per the plan. King g2, bishop f7. Idea giving support, defending this position. Now rook h5. What is the idea? The pawn is pinned. You can't take with the pawn because it is pinned. But then what is the rook doing here? Rook is giving more pressure on this. He is now planning to queen cross g5 check, and it is very difficult for black then. Okay, so black has to do something. Black said, okay, now I will run away on the other side. I don't have to wait. So he played king e6, rook cross g5, and then bishop f6. So yeah, all the pieces are coming here to defend the king. Now it's difficult. Rook cross g6, bishop cross g6. So yeah, sacrifice one more thing. Rook for bishop and pawn is not worth it because afterwards you need some pieces to finish it. Right now you don't have more pieces to finish. That's the problem. Now rook g8 attacking the queen. Queen h7. Rook h8 attack. You cannot come here or here because bishop is there. So that's the main problem is solved. Queen cross b7. He's trying to do something. Now queen cross c6 is coming. But before that, the problem is now black is reaching to your king first. What to do here? Now it is mate in 5 moves here. Okay, this is already puzzle. So let's start. Rook h2 check. This is a very good move. Okay. You can't play queen cross f2. You can't do anything with the queen. So this is a deflection. King is deflected to the other side so that you can take this. Now king has to take. He can't say no. So king cross h2. Now what to do? Queen cross f2 check. So king has to move or he has to block it. Maybe mostly he'll block it. Knight g2. Actually, after this rook h2 only, over here only, white has resigned. By the way, white has resigned here. Black has won the game here. But we'll see what can happen. Okay, if we capture how to finish it, that's what we are seeing. So queen cross f2 and then knight g2 and now rook h8 check. So the king can't move anywhere. What to do? You have to block it by something. And yeah, you just can give away some pieces to prolong the game, but you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. Okay, anywhere you play this, you will just capture. You don't even have to capture with the bishop because knight can't do it as it is pinned. So this is how black finished the game. White already resigned and it was a very good game, very good attack. White tried to attack before, but his attack was not so dangerous and he has sacrificed, which was not enough to do the checkmate. You have to be very sure when to sacrifice. I told you the conditions when to do sacrifice. Number one, you should have more pieces than the opponent on the king side where you want to attack on the opponent's king. The only problem can be, if there are some pawns or some pieces which are blocking the king. If you can just get rid of those then you know that okay, the checkmate is possible. So to uncover the king, sometimes you can sacrifice, but you should be very sure that okay, you can finish it off. Either you do checkmate or you can get extra points afterwards because of that attack. If you don't see anything like that, then unnecessarily don't sacrifice. You prepare more and then maybe attack or strike afterwards. So that's the strategy. Okay, so it was a good game.